Welcome. All right, so I'm going to help show you how to do, in my opinion, better research. I'm going to specifically show you where to research in the comm field. So most of this little lesson here will help you in multiple comm classes and even to some extent crossovers into psychology and sociology. You'll see what I mean. A little bit then, specifically the things we're actually searching, I'm going to make specific to interpersonal. In fact, I've got one example, but I'm probably going to ask for some examples so that you can see how the research happens. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get to the library page. Now, one thing you totally can do is just search everything. So my example is mother-daughter relationships. I'm going to search everything. And I get 17,000 things back. This is the library trying to compete with Google. This is very Google-like, right? I go to the search part and I type it in and I get 17,000 things back. Now, I don't know tons about algorithms and search engines and whatnot, but I'd be pretty safe to bet that the library mechanism that does this is not as good at sorting the relevance as Google is. Isn't it amazing that when you use Google, the shit you always want comes up top? Yeah, that's because they're awesome at doing the algorithms and the whatnot. If you decide to go this route, this is not the route I am recommending, but I know you'll be at home, it'll be midnight, you'll be in a hurry, you'll be drinking Mountain Dew, you might try this. If you try this at home, you may want to filter. So you know how some of your sources I want to be scholarly sources from journals? You could click journals and just the 5,000 from the journals would pop up. Maybe you are in the library, right? And you want books, right? You would be able to search just for the hard stuff in the library, because this is going to show you both the stuff in the databases and the hard stuff in the library. Does that make sense? Isn't this cool that we could chat with a librarian if we needed to? But I'm your fill-in librarian for today, so we're not going to. So, any questions on this? Have you used this? Tell me you've used this. Yeah, okay.
The query that the library uses for those search terms looks at all the titles of all the documents for any matches of words, and then each document has keywords that they look for.
Mm-hmm.
Keywords match any word in the search, and they're going to pop up. That's how you get so many crappy responses.
Right. Everybody here, Jordan? Yep. So I'm going to show you how to do a little bit more specific research in specific areas. Specifically, points for using that word so many times in one sentence, my favorite databases. I have a video that shows you how I explain databases versus providers. We're about to go to a provider that holds several databases. If this is confusing, it should be. This took me a long time to figure out. So I made a video when I became a teacher. I will post it on our page. I'm not going to do my lecture right now. I can maybe do a little bit of it later. So I would go back to the library home. So instead of searching everything, instead of searching books, I'm specifically interested in journal articles, scholarly journal articles. So I'm going to click on articles. And now I could search all the articles, but I don't want to. I've got favorites. So I'm going to go find my favorites. I'm going to click on a list of all of the databases. Now, this is why you pay so much in tuition, right? Because this shit's expensive. If you go on Google Scholar and try to find one of these articles, you're paying between $30 and $50 a shot for one article. Not one journal, not one volume, one tiny article. The library has millions of articles, thousands of journals, lots of databases, and you get to use them all because you pay tuition. This is why I will never not be in academia. Okay, so there are several good databases. And depending on what field you're in, right, If you're in the psych field, you would go to PsycPro. If you're in English, you'd go to JSTOR, right? So there's several, those are all providers that I'm listing. So there's several providers with several databases. Academic Search Premier is one of the most popular. How many of you have seen this screen? Fantastic. So Academic Search Premier is the database. EBSCOhost is the provider. What this means is they have several databases that they have, but right now you are only searching in Academic Search Premier because that's what we clicked. I will do a little bit of my spiel. I'll still post you the video. But the analogy I like to use for this is there's this bar in Colorado Springs that has 7 bars inside of it. You walk in and it's like, it's like Lady Gaga and Drake and everyone's wearing black leather and no one can see anything. And then you keep going and it's all wooded and it's like, Sweet Home Alabama. You go upstairs, there's a jazz club, there's a karaoke bar. You get all the way to the back, there's a masquerade bar, which is great. Michael Jackson, little disco. Academic Search Premier is the pop club. It's the one they filter you through when you come in the door and pay the cover. We didn't have to pay the cover because we're with the library, right? So Academic Search Premier is like the main database in the provider that plays the pop music and everybody likes. This is a good database. Watch. I'm going to search mother-daughter relationships, just like I did before, and I'm going to get over 2,000 hits. Now, this is way easier to navigate than 17,000 hits. And you thought I was mean for requiring 6 sources. Jeepers, you got plenty more than 6 sources here, right? Are you guys not just laughing at me today, or am I just not that funny? Come on, wake up, wake up. There you go, Daryl. Good job. All right, so notice this is bringing up, I may want to refine my search. I may want to search in here. I can do that a similar way, right, that I showed you before by filtering my searches. Academic Search Premier is nice. It's a good database. It is not my favorite database. EBSCOhost, the provider, holds several databases. How do you find them? You go to Choose Databases by Subject. Memorize this. This is super important. This is the key to life. Watch. I click that. What? I could be searching in any of these. And unlike the bar in Colorado where you got to pick a bar because you can't be in 3 places at once, you can pick 3 databases at once and search all of them. So remember, I got about 2,700 hits. There are a lot of good databases on this list, but I'm going to specifically point out Communication Mass Media Complete. Communication/media databases, which I think in this case includes Communication Mass Media Complete. They didn't have that before I got here, that specific database, because I love it and I asked for it, because I think it's vital for doing comm research. So I'm going to click that, because they will have different information than Academic Search Premier. They might have some of the same, but they might have some different. Does that make sense? Okay, watch. Now I am searching both communication media databases and Academic Search Premier. Mother-daughter relationships, I'm going to do it again, and this time I'm going to get 4,000 hits. And the first one is different. Second one seems to be the same. It was on the other one. Third one, do you see how some of them are different, some of them are coming up the same? And again, now I can search by relevance or filter or etc. Now, I hadn't planned this far, and hopefully you know this, but when you see this, that means the full text of the article is available. Watch. Boom. Booyah, Grandma. I can download it. I can print it. I can email it to myself. See? Got it. Super easy. But let's say you don't see this. One thing you can do, though most librarians tell you not to, is you can just limit to all full text. If I do that, then only the ones So now I've cut it down to 2,400. Only the ones with full text come up. But let's say I don't want to do that. Let's say I found one that I'm just in love with that doesn't have a full text. I don't know if this is going to work because I didn't check it this far. So this, I clicked on it, nothing is available. What I can do, if I am doing this ahead of time, is do interlibrary loan. How many of you are familiar with interlibrary loan? Oh, weep my heart. Video, not a lot of them raise their hands, which is why we're weeping. Interlibrary loan is a magic network of libraries that have all of the things. Anything you can dream of, they have it. And if your library doesn't have it, you ask for it and they send it to you because it's a magic network of libraries. Did I mention that? So the key is it's going to take a couple of days if it's not online, if it's a hard copy. But you can go click on that. You're going to fill in your information, your barcode, password, etc. Get a librarian to help you if you don't know how to do this, and then you'll be able to interlibrary loan it. Now, sometimes, and I don't know if we'll be able to find one, it's just that this database doesn't have the full text. So by clicking on this green button, that's a Find It button, see, so far no text available. Every once in a while you will find one, I'm trying to find one to show you, that instead of the no text available, it'll come up that it's available in a different database. JSTOR, a database you're not searching. Do you see how the same screen keeps coming up? I'm going to try one more time. So if we found one that was available in a different database, this would come up differently. And it would show you other options for finding it in our catalog. One more. It's addicting because I want to win. It's like gambling, but no loss, other than time. Okay, so I did mine, mother-daughter relationships. Does anyone have a topic they want me to search? I'm also going to go back to here to show you that while these are my favorite, you might have something specifically on gender you want to search. You might have something specifically in philosophy or psychology you want to search. So you see how there are definitely different needs that are here on these databases? Really awesome. Anybody have a thing they want me to search? They're interested in seeing how the results come up? Any challenges? Any things you've had a hard time finding?
What I always do if I can't find it, I just copy and paste it, add PDF and Google.
Say that again, class.
I will just copy and paste the title if it's not available, and then add a PDF to it and Google it.
Do you often find them?
Well, not always.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Another trick that I think is interesting. Let's say I want to search for mother-daughter performances. I could search performances, but I'm only going to get mother-daughter performances. If I searched perform with an asterisk, are you familiar how the asterisk works? It's awesome. This will now search the word perform and its multiple endings. Performed, performing, performance, performances, performers. So I'm going to get a lot more variety than if I just searched one of those words. Any other questions on this? Now I want to remind you, this is my favorite database. You could easily do this with another database, right? JSTOR is a big one that does a lot of literature. journal articles about English, that kind of thing. ProQuest is a big one. They actually have different types of ProQuests. PsycInfo is a big one. So these are all the databases, and if you are like, oh, I don't have a favorite database member, you can search all the databases, right? So that is how you can do better research using the library databases to find awesome scholarly articles. Any other questions? I'm trying to end my recording, but I don't see the thing I usually see. Be brave. It's possible. Though it's not letting me do a new screen recording. The cool part is that I could keep this on and be like, lols, I'm so cute and funny. Or I could put it into stop screen recording.